on the graduation night, you're overwhelmed with lots of different feelings that you actually don't realize that you're graduating. Just like we were talking before, that night I was not ready for it because I was overwhelmed with lots of different emotions. I was always told that on this day, the graduation night, you will be sobbing, and you will cry your eyes out. I think I'm more open now than what I used to be, and I think that little schoolgirl would be surprised by how flexible I am now in comparison to. For my younger colleagues, I would definitely tell them to try and involve themselves in lots of activities while they're still at school. It's not that they cannot in uni, you can always try to Sorry.
Hello everyone and welcome to Talk Nagah,
Weave the Way,
Mansoura College first podcast where we share heartwarming stories of our graduates and valuable insights from great role models. I am Malak Radwan from grade 11.
and I am Marima Audin and I'm in Prep 2. I'd like to introduce the first guest on our podcast, Dr. Basant Radwan. Dr. Basant graduated from Mansoura College in 2021, top of her class, and currently is a fourth-year medical student in Mansoura Manchester Medical Program. She was also the chair of Public Relations and Student Society.
So, Mariam, how are you doing in this hot weather?
Terrible. I'm doing terrible. I would have been by the beach or the pool right now.
Yeah, I would have loved that too, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's definitely better to be here.
Yeah, definitely. Welcome to Talk Nagah, Dr. Basant.
Thank you, Malak. Thank you for having me. I'm actually thrilled to be back here in my second home. I'm so happy to be here with you guys.
So, since you're our guest today, we're gonna spoil you a bit.
Thank you. This is so generous of you. I've never been this spoiled, actually.
So, you told me you started your own podcast back in university?
Yes. We started the first podcast in Mansoura University. It was not a one-man show, as they call it. There was a wonderful team behind it. When we started the podcast, our main goal was to embrace the diversity that we have in our faculty. And we just wanted a platform where we actually can share the stories between the various generations that we have in university. It's very similar to what you guys are doing here today, which, by the way, I'm very, very proud of. And I know that for sure, if I was a student, I would have definitely loved it. So a huge thank you to everyone who's put effort in this.
Your first time being a guest, how does it feel?
Actually, this is very embarrassing because I thought that I knew how a guest is supposed to feel, or I thought I had an imagination about it. But being the guest today, I think that I definitely did not know how a guest is supposed to feel, because being the host, you have a lot on your mind. You think about a lot of things. You're thinking about the flow of the conversation. Is your guest comfortable? The timing. You think about a lot of stuff. So I'm here with my tea, engaging in the conversation. I'm living my best life.
So, hosting world.
Yes.
What is your ultimate tip for us?
For you guys, as our upcoming hosts, I think that my only tip would be that you guys enjoy the process, because you're definitely going to grow through it without even knowing. And looking back at your first episode, which is ironically our episode today, I think you guys would think that you've changed a lot through the process, so just enjoy it.
How does it feel like being in your second home?
Actually, I never saw myself saying this, and I never expected actually saying it, but here I am. It feels like I've never left. It feels like I'm still here on the stage on the night of my graduation with those painful heels, and it just feels like nothing actually changed. And every single time I come back here at school, even after my graduation, in my head it's like I'm hearing those bells and I'm going to the social studies session after the break. So yeah, I really don't think that nothing has ever changed.
So that night, how did you feel?
My graduation night. Aside from my very painful heels and the dress I was tripping on, to be honest, I really didn't realize that I graduated school until after I was almost done with my freshman year at university. I think there's a lot of reasons behind that. Mostly, I think it's because, I was so driven into settling in my new life and getting along and getting familiar with my life in uni that I actually forgot I left school. But then I came to realize it far beyond my freshman year, and I think it is the problem of the freshman. You don't know where you belong anymore. It's the freshman year. You're not that school kid anymore, and you're still definitely not used to belonging in university.
It's definitely sad leaving the place you grew up in.
Definitely it is. But the thing is, on the graduation night, you're overwhelmed with lots of different feelings that you actually don't realize that you're graduating. Just like we were talking before. That night I was not ready for it because I was overwhelmed with lots of different emotions. I was always told that on this day, the graduation night, you will be sobbing, and you will cry your eyes out. However,
But when you definitely realize that you actually left, even if that's like a year after school, it's definitely a very, very sad experience.
Yes, it was the detachment of what you've always known.
I feel like everyone changes. So do you think that anything changed from in you from the day that you left?
Actually, you know what? I actually started realizing a pattern in my life from our conversation, because yet again, I think that everything changed, yet nothing really changed. Because, I still feel that the little school girl who used to stress about school is still alive in me, except that I'm now stressing about uni, Yeah.
In the beginning, you said that something changed. Yes. So what is it exactly that changed?
If I could say that one thing really changed after my experience in uni, or like what we call the ultimate change, I think I'm more open now than what I used to be, and I think that little schoolgirl would be surprised by how flexible I am now in comparison to
Do you think there's a reason behind your flexibility?
Yeah, I think I was forced to be flexible. It was not hard. I was really stubborn, to be honest. I think I was forced because I really don't know about other faculties in our faculty or from my own experience. What happens is that you change the way you're studying, and you change the curriculum. You change even the hospital that you're studying in after like 4 or 5, 6 weeks. So each rotation, you're literally a whole new person. So yeah, I was forced to change a lot of things and adapt to this new changes.
So college, you know, different environments, different people, different everything, literally.
Yes.
Was it scary?
Scary? Absolutely not. It was frightening.
Yeah? How so?
Actually, the beginning of uni is terrible. It's a really terrible experience to any freshman. I think it's because of two things, or like two major points. Again, we were just discussing now that a freshman...
not belonging.
Yes, exactly. The freshman does not know where to belong. So you don't know where to belong, and then you're entering the new community, and then you realize that this community is already preformed, and then you start realizing how wider it is than you've expected it to be, and then you start realizing how diverse it is, because it's not about your school anymore, it's not about the governorate anymore, or even the country. The diversity is literally insane. So it's hard to go through, and then in addition to that, there's no guardian anymore. You know, there's no one to call your parents and be like, oh, hey, your kid, Sorry. The other point is that there's no guardian. We've said that the community is wide, the community is diverse, but there's no guardian. No one to call your parents and be like, hey, your kid is not doing well in school. Your kid's results are not going fine. Your kid does not attend the lectures. It's not this way anymore. So this kind of creates a sense of sudden freedom, which of course comes to a cost after that. So those 2 points really make it hard to go on or go through these 2 months, I guess 2 months or more, at the beginning of your freshman year. But then, how I actually would say or recommend to deal with this is that just let it be. Just let it be. Don't force anything. Don't force a communication. Don't force a friendship. Don't force anything. Let it be, and just not let it be and you sit in your home. Let it be and just put yourself out there. You realize that it was much easier than you've expected it, and things will start slowly getting into place, and you'll just graduate uni just like the way you graduated school.
About freedom.
Yes.
The way that freedom can turn into a really bad weapon when you actually think like, oh, I'm free, I can do whatever I want, and start messing up your life.
Yes. And this is actually when you start drifting, because the sense of freedom that comes with the lack of guardian, like what we said, is sudden, and it's somehow different according to the person, and of course the sense of freedom that the person used to feel before university. But either ways, there's no one to actually follow you this closely anymore and just report it back to your parents. So you can easily skip a lecture. You can easily just tell your parents that just please don't mind your own business, and all that you care about is the grade. I'm going to get you that grade. And then what you end up doing is maybe you realize that you're failing this semester, and you didn't even realize it just because you didn't know what to expect. So just don't use this freedom right away until you actually evaluate the situation,
Yes. When do you feel like you got over that fear,
Yeah, the fear at the beginning. You never realize. The fear that the freshman goes into the community with, you never realize it's gone until you actually start communicating with everyone and knowing where to go, and you're not getting lost anymore. It eventually goes away, and you start living your life like you've never been really scared to ask where's like the hole.
I was honored to have this conversation with you.
It's my greatest honor.
But unfortunately, I'll have to leave you. But I'll leave you with my amazing friend, Mary.
So we're discovering a new host in the upcoming hosts world.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm thrilled, and I cannot wait to meet her.
So hello, Dr. Basant.
Hello, Mariam.
How are you doing?
I'm happy to meet another upcoming hero of the hosts world.
So tell me, people say that making your first friend is the hardest part of the journey. Is that true?
Of course, it differs from one person to another, because as we were just discussing the different types of personalities, and how some people can go a long way until they make a true friend, and others would prefer to be in a group from the beginning. Yeah. So of course it differs according to the person. My own experience, I actually started uni with one of my really, really close friends. Of course, shout out to her. It was a true blessing, going through the hustle with someone else. Of course, it was the hustle times two, but at least we had each other. But there was like a downside to this, that maybe we were too comfortable having each other. So we were not really open to, meeting other people or so. We've overcome this, but the moral of the story is that even if you're starting uni with someone who you already know, close or not, don't be really attached to the person, that this will make you not want to meet other people.
Yeah, but in my opinion, I think that for some people it's gonna be easy, because in the first year of uni, everyone is gonna be looking forward to like making new friends, because also not everyone is gonna be going with their school friends.
Yes,
Don't you think so?
Yes. That's actually what I was going to say, because it's the percentage of people actually knowing each other before starting uni is really, really rare. So this happened by a chance. But what happens is what you were saying, is that people will start knowing each other from uni, and then back to the different personality types. So it depends on the person, but of course lots of people will be willing to meet new people at the beginning, which makes it easier, and that's something that we really don't know before actually starting. So just take it easy. You will find someone who really wants a friend, or not even a friend, but just to know other people, so it will go along.
Okay. So did you feel any difference in your studying methods? Like, was it easy for you, or was it harder?
Of course, like we were just discussing that, there's no guardian anymore. You're free to do whatever you want. You're free to skip your lectures. And we were just discussing the significant change that happens in uni. However, personally, again, it's my personal experience, I think that the key to studying in uni is self-studying. And there was a lot of changes that happened in the educational system before I entered uni. And this kind of implemented self-studying in mostly my generation a bit. So self-studying is a skill that you will grow through uni and you will start developing, but the idea is not really about how you study. It's about, you could be studying very well and efficiently, but the thing is you have to know how to implement the method of studying into your very, very tight and really restricted schedule, because you go to uni from like 8 to maybe like 5, and then you have plans at the evening, and then this goes for the whole week, and then you may have plans at the weekend. So you're by the end of the week you're really tired from seeing the patients and from studying and from being asked and maybe embarrassed. I don't know, but you'll be tired. So the idea of you fitting in the studying within the schedule is what you will need to work on, and you will eventually get there. I mean, I didn't.
Okay, so did you feel like any impact on you in the change of communities, like from school and university?
Okay. Personally, I think that I was blessed in my school experience. I think that I loved school. You were just telling me, how do you think about school, honestly, right? So personally, I do believe that I loved school. I loved coming here every day. I loved my routine. I loved meeting my teachers and meeting my friends and just, maybe running around in like different times across the day. But there was another reason why I really loved school and enjoyed it, is that I had a lot of extracurriculars, and it was not just me. There was always something to do. There's like a theater activity going on.
Yeah.
There's like an English play. I was Hamlet, by the way. That's the actual Hamlet.
Yeah.
So there was like random things that fill your week alongside with the study. So these activities are what really, helped me cut things short in uni, because now I know what I like and what I don't like, So it really helped. So I think this was the impact of school.
Okay, so tell me, is there anything that you held on from school to uni?
Yes, what I was just telling you about is that I was used to having my day filled with the studying and extracurriculars, which at the beginning of my uni I was not really able to fulfill, which is why I stumbled a bit. But then when I was back with my extracurriculars, I think my life was much better. My grades actually were better. So I think this is what I held on to, is that I had to have something else aside from the studying. And this thing actually grew in uni from extracurriculars to maybe research to campaigns and other things.
What about was there anything that you regret not doing in school?
Regret not doing? I think I did, as I told you, have my school experience fulfilled somehow, but I do regret how I managed things, or my perspective towards things during school, because I think I stressed on a lot of things that really, now looking back at, I am laughing at, and I know I heard this a lot. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, so what's a thing that you would really hope to tell your younger self?
Literally, what we were just discussing, that just to take it easy, and that these things that I'm stressing on right now will not really be this important to me afterwards. It's not because they're not worthy or the worth decreased or something. It's more of in the greater picture, they don't really matter as much as I think they do.
So what's a thing that you really hope to tell your younger self?
What we were just discussing is something that was major for me, so I think I would just tell myself to take it easy, and what I'm really stressing about now will not really matter in the bigger picture.
What about something that you could tell your younger colleagues?
For my younger colleagues, I would definitely tell them to try and involve themselves in lots of activities while they're still at school. It's not that they cannot in uni. You can always try to discover lots of new things about yourself whenever you are in life. It's more of you're still in your comfort place with your teachers, with your guardians, with someone to support you and show you the way. So it's always better and easier for you to try and involve yourself in activities, whatever they are and how small they are. Even starting the how they run for people and want them to say in like the morning podcast, say like literally one sentence or something. Just start from there, and you don't know how these small things can add up for in building at the end a outspoken person, someone with really high self-esteem.
Yeah, because it does like gives you like a lot of confidence.
Exactly. Sorry.
So
before we finish, that's something really important for my colleagues who are going to be freshmen next year. I would just hope that they get the grades they want and get into their dream college. And if they didn't, I would just want to tell you that God's plan will never fail you from a position of trust. You can trust me. God's plan will never fail you. And when you do start your college and start the new community, be open to the amount of change that you will face, at least in the beginning, and then things will settle in a good way, inshallah.
That is actually so sweet of you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I really enjoyed our talk with you today.
I've enjoyed being here.
And I'm really honored to see you.
It's my pleasure, and if you or anyone would like to ask about anything or reach out, I'm always here.
Okay, so I really hope to see you after you graduate.
I really hope to. Okay.
Wait for us with a new episode and a new heartwarming story.
On Talk Nagah.
Weave the way.